Picture this. You're sitting in your third grade classroom while your teacher is having you learn this new fancy way of writing, cursive. The lights are dim, the projector screen is up, and you see these words that you don't even know how to read. The letters are connected, it's all twirly and loopy. Do you remember learning cursive in elementary or middle school? All those assignments that your teachers forced you to connect your letters together and write faster? Well, they weren't just given to you by your teachers because they wanted to make you suffer, which I know from personal experience, they did make you suffer. Learning cursive handwriting at a younger age helps many students with their cognitive development and improves their print handwriting skills. These things help with students throughout their entire school years, and they help them write essays better, they help them to grow, they help them to write things in a new way. We must continue to teach cursive handwriting to the younger generations in order to help with their cognitive development before it becomes more difficult to change how they think and write. Once you get older, it's so much more difficult to break habits. That's why we see so many doctors or older people who don't have good handwriting, because they learned as a child that that was okay. We need to break that when they're children so that when they get older, they're able to write and they're able to have others read what they're writing. In this speech, I will give the effect that cursive handwriting has on young minds and why we should continue to teach the children cursive. My first point is that cursive handwriting is a valuable skill for students to have. As stated by Claire Sudeth in her article, Mourning the Death of Handwriting, published in 2009, today school children typically learn print in kindergarten and cursive in third grade, but they don't ever master either one of them. It's very difficult for children to master something if they're not learning it on a daily basis, especially in this day and age where everything is online and we're learning typing. Cursive isn't taught very often, even back when I was a child and learning it. We learned it for maybe a year at most. If it's learned and taught constantly and you're forced to write in it, it becomes more of a habit for people. Cursive is like eating vegetables for children. They don't want to do it, but once they do it, their brain grows and they become better at what they're doing. My second point is the effect of cursive being taught in schools. As stated in the article, Should We Quit Teaching Cursive in a Digital Age?, published in 2020, Barbie Levin, an occupational therapist in public and private schools, told me that she has seen cursive work almost as therapy for some kids with coordination problems, learning disorders, or cognitive limitations that make it hard them to learn how to print. I am currently learning how to be an occupational therapist, and I think that this is very helpful for students who are trying to get better with their hand grip and making the patterns with the cursive because they're not lifting their hands with their pens. So they're just making those letters. It seems like a lot harder because we don't learn it at an earlier age like we do with print, but you're just connecting it. So it's really an easier thing to do. As stated in the article, Teaching of Cursive Writing in the First Year of Primary School, Effect on Reading and Writing Skills, which was published in 2019, children who had benefited from the intervention when compared to the control children displayed overall higher performance on all three spelling skills tests, as their performances were characterized by a significantly lower number of mistakes. These students who were separated into a group where half of them did cursive and half of them didn't, the ones who did the cursive had better scores in spelling and different types of tests that they were performing. My third point is the result of keeping cursive in schools. As stated in the article, updated in 2020, Effects of a Kinesiastic Cursive Handwriting Intervention for Grades 4 through 6 Students, the ongoing intervention of skills on daily compositional tasks and the use of this program in classrooms is beneficial. The use of using cursive in classrooms is super beneficial for these students because they're able to perform their tasks to a higher extent, and they're able to use these cursive handwriting skills to read other people's cursive. I know when I get cards from my grandma and she writes in cursive, I have a hard time reading what she's saying, but maybe if I did more cursive as a child, I would be able to read her cards easier. As stated in 2016 by in the article by Philip Ball, Cursive Handwriting and Other Educational Myths, Issue 40, Learning, there is ample evidence that writing by hand aids cognition in ways that typing does not. It is worth teaching. I know that all of the time my professors and teachers always tell me to write my notes by hand because it helps me to remember everything I'm doing. Typing is great when you're trying to go fast and you want to actually read what you're doing, but if you learn at a younger age how to do these things, your handwriting would be better. So, for these students who are trying to remember things and learn things, if we teach them cursive and we teach them how to do better handwriting, they'll be able to easily write down their notes and they'll be able to remember things better. Overall, cursive handwriting comes in handy in many different scenarios, and it helps students to be better students. Cursive handwriting is a very general way of telling people that they are smarter. It's sometimes looked at in that respect because not many people know how to do cursive. Learning cursive handwriting as a child helps many people with their cognitive development and improves their handwriting skills. Don't you wish you had good handwriting? Or maybe you hope that your child will have good handwriting and cognitive skills? Looking back, learning cursive and handwriting was not that bad, and I made it seem like it was horrible when I was in 3rd grade. But it wasn't that hard, and I'm sure if we pushed more at it, we would be better at it. Where do you think you would be after learning cursive?